Muy bien. Entonces, aquí, hi, hello. Aquí ya había visto que ya, sí, ya está aquí. Yo estoy viendo que aquí anda. O por lo menos eso dice aquí, ¿no? Aquí estoy viendo que dice yo soy en iPhone. Bueno, entonces esperemos un momento para platicar con Joss Stone en esta mañana aquí en Real. Me imagino que está fallando un poco su red. Ese tipo de cosas suceden luego, ¿no? En donde, en donde uno cree que todo está perfecto y no, no, porque sí se salió, miren, ya no, ya no entró. Esperemos un momento. Ayer, caos en Guadalajara, la manifestación de los grulleros, estos que dicen que no solo se manifestaron por las cuestiones de seguridad y de las cuestiones específicas de seguridad y de cobro, sino también porque el gobierno de Jalisco les debe una la nota. Entonces, ayer pusieron en caos y en jaque a la ciudadanía, ¿no? Que estaban esperando poder salir de mejor forma, no tener los problemas que hemos visto en otras ocasiones, pero pues sí, se puso muy complicada la situación en el estado de Jalisco. En la Ciudad de México, América Rangel, esta diputada ultraconservadora, pues fue a denunciar a las mujeres y hombres que fueron al Congreso de la Ciudad de México en contra de esta iniciativa para prohibir las cirugías de niños trans.
Fiscalía General de la República porque acabo de presentar las denuncias penales contra las personas que asaltaron al Congreso de la Ciudad de México y trataron de atentar contra mí. En específico, tenemos perfectamente detectadas a 3 personas, de quienes ya le dimos todas las pruebas a la Fiscalía y además solicitamos que realice la investigación para dar con las demás personas. Esperamos que la autoridad haga su
las cosas allá en Zacatecas. Ahora sí, vamos a ver, creo que ya está Joseph Stone con nosotros esta mañana aquí en Real. Bueno, dice conectar con el audio, creo que ya estamos. Hi, Joss, how are you?
Can you hear me? I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, and it's a pleasure to have you here in this radio station. It's always thrilled to talk with someone with so much talent and so much stamina. I was thinking about the first time listen to your music about I think 11, 12 years ago, something like that. And I was thinking about how your talent has made a legacy for the people that are around you and for the people that listens to your music. How do you feel about your role in the music business, but more specifically in the role for the people lives when they're listening to your music and your talent?
Oh, well, I'm glad that people enjoy it, you know. That's kind of the point of doing it, I suppose, just so people enjoy it. That's the only reason why I would bother. So, yeah, it's nice. It's nice to know that it was worth it. Because it's a lot of work, you know, like anything. If you do something with a lot of passion over many, many years, and if you really mean it, you know, I've given my whole life to what I do. So it's really nice to know that all of that there's a good reason for that, you know, and it's helped people to feel good or help them to feel comforted in a difficult moment or something like that. You know, it's like that makes it worth it.
Let's go to the path. How did you know that you were meant to make music and this kind of music that in the moment was quite different of the other genres that was around you?
I think I just really loved soul music. It's not just soul though, you know. I think I just love any music that has like deep heart that I can believe. I suppose any type of art, if you are able to like connect properly connect and kind of reach into the hearts and minds of people and kind of stir up an emotion. It's like if it's a good movie, you'll be crying or you'll be laughing the whole way through. You know, you have to feel something. And I see magic in that. So I just wanted to be part of that. I didn't particularly want to be part of a certain genre or a certain type of rhythm, or, you know, it didn't have to be jazz, it didn't have to be R&B, it didn't have to be blues, didn't have to be anything. It just has to be soulful, you know. So I guess that's why I chose to go the way I've gone, and I suppose that's why I chose to involve myself in lots of different genres over the years. It's because I don't believe that soul lives in one genre. I think it lives in all of them, you know.
I could understand that and follow your career. It's so palpable. The thing that you are experience different emotions in different genres, but also with different collaborations. How do you feel about yourself in this 2023 after the pandemic, after the struggle, after all the crisis for your listeners, for the audience, but also for the music business?
I think it's been difficult the last few years, but it depends how you look at life, right? So there's always difficulties, whether it's a pandemic, whether it's an illness, or whether it's a money difficulty, or, you know, a kind of logistics difficulty, or there can be many different bumps in the road. And it just happened we all went over that bump together, and that in a way made it less of a bump, because had each other's backs and we all understood. It's when you go through the hardships on your own, or when you feel like you're going through it on your own, that's when it's harder, much harder, you know. So if you have to cancel, just to be specific about what I do, you know, if I have to cancel a show because of something that happened to me individually, let's say, I don't know, I broke my legs or something. God, let's not.
Hopefully not.
That's bad luck, but touch wood, that won't happen. Let's say it's something like that. Let's hope not. Then if everyone has to cancel their show because there's a major pandemic, right? So everyone understands that. Get it. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, of course. The whole entire world are canceling their shows. That's fine. It's not fine. So I think the fact that we have gone through this pain hand in hand together, some of us have lost people that we love, you know, it's been heavy as fuck, like super heavy, not in a good way.
Are you there? I think that we are having connection problems. Just, are you there? Creo que tenemos un problema técnico, en donde se frició la señal. Para los que están viéndonos a través de Instagram, sí, efectivamente se cayó la señal de Joss Stone. Ella está en su. Hi, we had a technical problem, I think.
Sorry. Sorry about that.
We were talking about the pandemic and the struggle, the collective struggle, but also I was wondering, for many artists, being on lockdown was also a moment to reflect and make new music and go to other roads. How was it for you artistically?
Artistically, it was actually all right, because I did get a chance to write some songs. And I felt like, to be honest, I actually didn't pay any attention to it, like to the lockdowns or anything. I know that sounds awful, but I just know at the same time I was washing my hands and wearing a mask. I went to record and write some songs for a play, a musical that Dave Stewart and I wrote. Did I write my album in that time? I think I did. We went to this little island where Dave lives, and we stayed apart from everyone for like 10 days. That actually was just because he had a cold. But, you know, we just carried on. We just tried to stay well and take our vitamins and, you know, just continue living your life. I certainly didn't stop living my life at all. I couldn't tour because that wasn't allowed. But there's so many other things you can be doing, you know? I mean, there's lots of different aspects to being creative. So that's a beautiful thing. And I learned how to use a GarageBand and record my own vocals. And that, I tell you what, was the best thing for me, because I've never been able to do that my whole career. And yeah, it took me like 17 years to actually do that, right? And now I can cut a vocal. I don't have to find a studio, find an engineer, I can just do that. So that's, I guess, the best thing that I took out of it was a new skill.
You can use now GarageBand, but also you can tour. You are on a global tour of these 20 years of career. You are coming to Mexico City and Guadalajara, and I think that the people around here are really willing to hear your voice. How do you feel about touring again, and how do you feel to be here in Mexico in next April?
I'm very excited. I love Mexico. It's a gorgeous part of the world. It really is. I've always had so much fun there. We've popped in and out of Mexico over the years many times, and it's always been like very warm, very welcoming, as a lot of that part of the world is actually. And I remember the time that we went for the world tour, I sang with Natalie Lafourcade.
Yeah.
And that was one of my most favorite collaborations I did, because she is just the most beautiful person. Oh, what a sweetheart. She was so, so nice. So yeah, good memories. So I'm excited to go back and play the show. I've done the show twice now. I just played in Germany. We were in Frankfurt and Cologne. And it's the first time I've ever had an organized show. So I usually just kind of go with a bunch of stuff rehearsed, and then I play what I feel people want to hear. So every show is completely different. People shout out stuff, I try it, it's a bit haphazard. But because we wanted to do 20 years of soul and celebrate that 20 years, we made a poll online on Facebook. So all the fans voted for their favorite songs. So I put together the show, and I tried my hardest to fit in as many of those songs that they have asked for. So some of them are only pieces of those songs, but it's important that I kind of stick to it and do it, because otherwise I'll never fit them all in. And it's quite cool. It's quite fun. After 20 years, this is my first time doing it, professionally, properly doing it. So it's quite funny, really. And I'm excited to bring that show to Mexico. Hey, let's see. I hope people like it.
They would love it. What's more difficult, to go with the flow in the show, or going in a structural show that you have to go letter by letter, step by step?
I find it more difficult to go structural, definitely, for sure, because I'm like, oh God, I've got to remember all these changes and stuff. It's like a little bit more, organized. And because we have cut up some songs, there's like different transitions and stuff. And I've got some tracks in my ears going on. It's all very, it's not what I normally do. Great, because they get a lot. They get a lot. For the short time they're there, they're going to hear a lot of music.
Now I am very intrigued of what you will go with your show here in Mexico and in Guadalajara. My time has run out, so I have one last question. I am a very voyeuristic person. Where are you right now? Because I can see some kind of cushions and like toys, child toys. Where are you right now? In your home?
I'm not. I'm on the tour bus, and I just moved this. This is my baby's like mat that he plays on. So, and this is my other baby's. This is her crib. She's got like a little tent because she jumps out of the crib. So this is our home. This is our home on the road. We sleep on the bus. We live on the bus. Yeah. I love living on the bus. I never want to go to the hotel. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll go to the hotel for a shower. But for the most part, the venues always have showers. So I just live on the bus, and I love it.
You really prefer to be on a bus, on a tour, that on a hotel and something like that?
Oh, hell yeah. Definitely. 1,000%. 1,000%. It's so much easier. It's like I've got my home here. Like everything's the same. The kids, they always have their bed. Their bed is the same every night, and that's a real cool thing for them. And then we can make it our own. You know, all of our stuff is here. We've got like cupboards full of clothes, and it's great. I don't want to have to move all that stuff every night into the hotel, then move it back in. Ugh, no.
I can understand that. As I was listening to you, I can understand and be empathic without that. I think you are right.
It makes sense. Like once you get used to it, it makes sense. Like I was traveling with Cody, Cody is my partner and my fiance. We're supposed to get married at some point, but we just keep getting too busy. He's the most gorgeous man. Anyway, so he's the daddy of my 2 beautiful kids, and now he comes on the road with us. And for somebody that is not a musician, has not toured like that, he was like, okay, so how does all this stuff work? And are we going to go to a hotel every night? And, you know, I think we should get off the bus because it's going to be easier. And now he says to me the other night, he's like, I totally get it now. This is easier. This is better. He's coming with me. It's funny because everyone else I know on this tour has been touring for over 20 years, you know? And Cody's like, oh, I'm learning. I see. So we have to bring tea bags. Oh, I get it. You know, stuff like that. It's really fun. It's really, really fun.
I could imagine that. Joss, it was a pleasure to have this conversation with you. And thanks for letting us to get into your bus this morning.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. It's a bit messy, but yeah.
Thank you very much.
I'll see you in Mexico. Yay.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye. It's just